It's one thing to learn about history through textbooks or hear stories about it in classrooms, but it's something completely different to see it with your own eyes, or even hold a piece of it in your hands. That's the reality archaeologists, historians, and scientists experience every day as they dig deeper into the past to uncover the traces of people and places that disappeared thousands of years ago. But not every discovery they make helps explain history. Some discoveries are so unusual, so unexpected, that they leave scientists with more questions than answers. And in this video, we'll show you some of the most mysterious ancient finds. So, let's start this list with number 15, the Gu mummy. When people hear the word mummy, their thoughts almost immediately drift toward ancient Egypt. But the preservation of the dead has appeared in many cultures across the world, sometimes in ways that seem almost impossible to comprehend. One such example emerged in 1975 when an earthquake in Himachal Pradesh exposed a tomb that had remained sealed for more than 5 centuries. Inside sat the remarkably preserved body of a monk named Sangha Tenzin. He was found in a meditative position, with portions of his skin and hair still intact despite the passage of time. According to local tradition, Tenzin willingly sacrificed himself through prayer and meditation to protect his village from a devastating plague of scorpions. The story claims that as his spirit departed, a rainbow appeared across the sky and the infestation disappeared overnight. Researchers believe he may have gradually starved himself while using the heat from candles to dry and preserve his body before death. Whether viewed as an act of faith, discipline, or absolute devotion, his story raises a question that continues to shock people today. How does someone reach a state where the fear of death no longer holds any power? Number 14, the mysterious faces on stone. When severe drought struck parts of the Amazon region, falling water levels exposed something that had remained hidden for eons. Along the banks of the Rio Negro in Brazil, ancient carvings emerged from the stone, revealing faces that had not been clearly seen for centuries. The site, known as Ponta das Lajes, contains a collection of petroglyphs believed to be between 1 and 2,000 years old. Human faces dominate many of the carvings, staring outward from the rock with expressions that still feel alive despite the passage of time. Alongside them appear images of animals and other symbols linked to the natural world. Archaeologists also noticed grooves carved into the stone, suggesting the location may have served as a place where tools were sharpened or manufactured. Fragments of pottery discovered nearby strengthen the idea that people gathered here regularly for practical and possibly ceremonial purposes. Many questions remain unanswered because the engravings have not been fully studied. The Amazon continues to surprise researchers, and discoveries like this hint at entire chapters of history that remain hidden beneath forests, rivers, and landscapes that are constantly changing. Number 13. The Holy Right Hand of St. Stephen. Every year on August 20, crowds gather in Budapest to celebrate St. Stephen's Day. At the center of the procession is one of Europe's most unusual religious relics, the preserved right hand of Hungary's first king, St. Stephen. The relic, known as the Holy Right, has been venerated since 1083 when Stephen was officially declared a saint. According to tradition, church officials opened his tomb during the canonization process and discovered that while the rest of his body had largely decomposed, his right hand remained remarkably preserved. That unexpected condition transformed it into an object of religious importance. Its journey afterward was anything but simple. During the Tatar invasion of the 13th century, monks hid the relic for protection. Over time, the hand became separated from the arm. The hand then traveled to Lviv, while the arm was taken elsewhere, and its final fate remains uncertain. Following World War II, American forces helped return the hand to Hungary. Today it rests inside St. Stephen's Basilica, where it remains both a cherished national symbol and a fascinating historical mystery. Number 12. The Mummified Teen Mom. For more than a century, the remains of a young Egyptian girl rested in a museum collection believed to be the tragic story of a mother who died during childbirth. Then, modern medical imaging revealed details that nobody expected. The mummy was discovered in 1908 at the El Bagawat Cemetery in the Karga Oasis. Researchers estimated that the girl was only in her mid-teens when she died 1,500 years ago. For decades, archaeologists assumed complications during labor had taken her life. That explanation seemed straightforward until CT scans exposed something hidden inside her body. The scans revealed not one fetus, but two. One remained within the pelvic region while another was found higher in the chest cavity. The discovery pointed to a twin pregnancy. Even more shocking was the condition of one fetus, whose skull appeared to have separated during a difficult delivery. Researchers believe the girl died before receiving any medical help, a reminder of how dangerous childbirth could be in the ancient world. But who was she, and what really happened that day is a question with no answers. Number 11. Oldest mosaic tile in Oklahoma. Could a stone floor discovered in Oklahoma force historians to rethink everything they know about early human history? That possibility has fueled debate ever since construction workers uncovered a strange formation near Edmond in 1969. At first glance, the site appeared unremarkable. Closer examination revealed a pattern resembling a carefully arranged mosaic floor accompanied by a series of holes interpreted as ancient post holes. The implications are difficult to ignore. Some researchers have argued that the formation could be close to 200,000 years old. If true, it would place human activity in North America at a time when conventional models suggest modern humans were only beginning to emerge in Africa. Not surprisingly, many scientists reject that interpretation. Critics maintain that the so-called mosaic is simply a natural geological formation and that the apparent design results from chance rather than deliberate construction. But supporters point out that the theory struggles to explain the presence of regularly shaped holes. If the site genuinely reflects human activity from that era, it would challenge some of the most fundamental assumptions about migration and prehistory. Number 10. Petroglyphs of Toro Muerto. In Peru's Castilla province lies Toro Muerto, a vast archaeological site whose name translates to dead bull. No one knows where the name came from. It appears nowhere in local folklore or recorded history, yet it has survived through generations and remains attached to one of South America's most remarkable collections of ancient rock art. Spread across the desert are more than 3,000 volcanic boulders covered with engravings. Humans, animals, geometric designs, and strange symbols appear across their surfaces in astonishing variety. One detail continues to attract attention. The carvings were made almost exclusively on volcanic stone, while nearby rocks of different origins were largely ignored. That pattern suggests the material itself may have held special significance. Most researchers attribute the site to the Wari culture, which flourished roughly 1,500 years ago, although some engravings may be older. Despite decades of study, the purpose behind these carvings remains uncertain. The people who created them left behind no explanation, only thousands of marked stones scattered beneath the relentless Peruvian sun. Number 9. Matriarchal Atalhick. For decades, Atalhick has been described as one of the world's earliest large settlements, a place where people lived in tightly packed mud brick houses long before cities emerged. Many scholars viewed it as a relatively equal society with little evidence of rigid social classes. New research, however, has added an unexpected layer to the story. Scientists examined the remains of more than 100 individuals buried beneath house floors throughout the settlement. A pattern quickly appeared. Women and girls buried within neighboring homes often shared close maternal connections. Grandmothers, mothers, daughters, and other female relatives remained linked across generations inside the same residential clusters. Male burials told a different story. Their placement showed far less consistency, suggesting that family identity may have been organized primarily through the maternal line. Burial goods strengthen this interpretation. Young girls were frequently buried with shell beads, imported stones, and carefully crafted figurines. Boys often received fewer symbolic offerings. These choices may reflect how status and inheritance moved through the community. So, why did these people do that? Number 8. The Hill of Tara. Few places in Ireland carry the same sense of mystery and cultural importance as the Hill of Tara. Long regarded as one of the country's most sacred sites, it occupies a special place in Irish history, mythology, and national identity. But despite its fame, many questions about its true significance remain unanswered. At the center of the site stands the Leafill, better known as the Stone of Destiny or the Screaming Stone. According to tradition, the stone would cry out whenever touched by the rightful High King of Ireland. The belief was already well established by the 6th century during the coronation of Muerto. Irish legends trace the stone's origins to the Tuatha De Danann, a mythical people often described as godlike beings. One tale claims the hero C. Shulain became so enraged when the stone refused to recognize him that he struck it with his sword and split it apart. Some archaeologists believe the monument may date back to the Neolithic period and served a ceremonial purpose. Whatever its true origins, the Hill of Tara remains one of Ireland's most powerful links to its ancient past. Number 7. Codex Argenteus. As Roman power gradually faded across Western Europe, the Goths briefly emerged as one of the region's most influential cultures. Among the greatest legacies they left behind was the Codex Argenteus, better known as the Silver Bible. Considered one of the most important religious manuscripts of the early medieval world, it represents the first complete translation of the Bible into the Gothic language. For many years, the work was credited entirely to Bishop Ulfilas. Modern scholars, however, believe multiple scribes likely produced the manuscript under his supervision. Because Gothic lacked a suitable writing system for such a project, an entirely new alphabet had to be created. Existing runic scripts were closely associated with pagan traditions and could not easily serve the needs of Christian scripture. Most historians believe the manuscript was commissioned for Theodoric the Great. Written on luxurious purple-dyed calfskin and decorated with silver ink, it reflected immense prestige. Following Theodoric's death, the Codex disappeared from history for more than 1,000 years before resurfacing in the 16th century, leaving an enormous gap in its story that remains unexplained. Number 6. Oldest medicines. For a long time, many historians believed that advanced medical knowledge appeared only after the rise of farming societies and organized civilizations, but discoveries in Morocco are forcing experts to rethink that assumption. Deep inside Grotta de Pigeon, a cave that served as a burial site roughly 15,000 years ago, scientists uncovered evidence suggesting that ancient hunter-gatherers already possessed a surprisingly sophisticated understanding of medicinal plants. Among the discoveries were remains of ephedra, a plant known for its powerful medicinal properties. Even today, compounds derived from it are associated with treatments for respiratory conditions and congestion. The plant was found in ritual burials alongside human remains, suggesting it held both practical and symbolic value. Researchers believe these ancient communities may have used ephedra to reduce pain, slow bleeding, and assist during difficult medical procedures. But as we know, the actual truth no one knows. Number 5. Ruins of Lost Tavern in North Carolina. By the 18th century, much of colonial North America had already been mapped and documented. That is what made a discovery in Brunswick Town, North Carolina so surprising. In 2019, archaeologists uncovered the remains of a burned building that appeared nowhere in surviving historical records. Evidence suggests the structure was destroyed by fire sometime during the 1760s. The blaze caused the roof and walls to collapse, effectively sealing the contents inside and preserving them for centuries. What researchers found beneath the debris offered a rare glimpse into daily life during the colonial period. Among the discoveries were unused smoking pipes, iron tools, liquor bottles, brass wine barrel taps, and Irish coins dated to 1766. The collection suggested a bustling establishment that once served travelers and sailors passing through the area. One theory proposes that the building may have operated as a brothel alongside its tavern business, giving locals a reason to avoid mentioning it in official records. Whatever its true purpose, the site clearly played an active role in that ancient world. Number 4. The Decalogue Stone. Few archaeological discoveries generate as much debate as the Los Lunas Decalogue Stone. Reportedly discovered in New Mexico in 1933, the artifact has remained at the center of controversy ever since. The reason is simple. Its surface contains inscriptions that resemble some of the earliest forms of the Paleo-Hebrew alphabet. Several researchers have attempted to translate the text over the years. One interpretation claims it tells the story of a man named Zacchaneros, a Greek Cypriot traveler who supposedly became stranded in the New Mexican desert centuries before Columbus reached the Americas. Others strongly disagree. Harvard historian Robert Pfeiffer argued that the inscription more closely resembles a version of the biblical Ten Commandments. The story becomes even stranger when its discovery is examined. Archaeologist Frank Hibben claimed the stone was shown to him by a guide who said he had found it years earlier while wandering through the desert alone. Because no reliable record exists documenting its original context, many historians suspect it is a modern fabrication. Number 3. Burial of the Heavenly Guest. Stories about mysterious finds often blur the line between history and legend, and few tales do that more dramatically than the so-called burial of the Heavenly Guest. According to the story, British archaeologists working near the Giza Plateau in 1901 found an unusual tomb hidden beneath the desert. Inside rested a body unlike anything they expected. Reports described a figure more than 2.5 meters tall, with an elongated skull and skeletal features that appeared different from ordinary human remains. The mystery deepened when strange inscriptions allegedly found within the tomb spoke of a visitor from the stars. Symbols carved into the walls were said to resemble celestial maps, while other images appeared to show disc-shaped objects descending from the sky. Such details quickly fueled speculation about ancient alien contact and forgotten chapters of human history. Supporters of alternative history theories often point to stories like this as evidence that ancient civilizations possessed knowledge far beyond what conventional archaeology accepts. The greatest mystery surrounds what happened afterward. According to the tale, the remains vanished without any explanation. Number 2. Bandiagura Cliffs. The people who once occupied the Bandiagura escarpment in Mali did not build their homes in the conventional sense. Instead, they carved them directly into towering cliff faces, creating settlements that still cling to the landscape today. Many of these structures are fitted with beautifully crafted wooden and metal doors, which have attracted almost as much attention from researchers as the dwellings themselves. The Dogon people are believed to have lived among these cliffs for more than 600 years. Over time, what began as simple caves gradually evolved into elaborate homes, mosques, granaries, and decorated buildings constructed from mud and other local materials. Thatch roofs added during later periods remain visible along sections of the 1,500-foot escarpment. Today, most Dogon communities live in villages below the cliffs, and many residents work as guides for visitors exploring the area. But despite centuries of study, nobody fully understands how earlier generations carved, expanded, and maintained these remarkable settlements. As of now, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Number 1. The Rodope Skull. Few discoveries generate controversy quite like the Rodope skull. Found in 2002 by a resident of Plovdiv while exploring Bulgaria's Rodope Mountains, the strange object quickly became the focus of intense speculation. Some people declared it proof of extraterrestrial life. Others argued it belonged to an unknown animal, a severely deformed human, or an elaborate hoax designed to attract attention. The problem is that none of those explanations fit perfectly. The skull appears to possess 6 eye sockets and lacks any obvious mouth structure. No known animal matches its anatomy, and experts have struggled to identify a human condition capable of producing such unusual features. The mystery deepened shortly after its discovery. Following brief coverage in Bulgarian and Turkish newspapers, the skull seemingly disappeared. Today, only photographs reportedly taken at the time remain available. Rumors claim it was secretly acquired by the Smithsonian Institution, though no evidence supports that story. If you found this video interesting, please like it and subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you very soon.